So I've been debating making a video for the last few weeks, but I haven't been able to actually sit down and record myself until today. I thought at first that it was a lack of motivation, but it really could have been a multitude of other things as well. I think I stopped uploading weekly because I was overwhelmed with my new job, but also with the new place and a new life in Minnesota. Everything was just super new, and I was getting discouraged with how slow the channel was growing as well. And I felt like I just needed a break. But I was also really not happy with the content that I was putting out, feeling that I wasn't putting my full effort into it, and the topics I was doing was really just not good topics. It was kind of half-assed, for lack of a better word. But overall I was just losing steam with my channel, and the results I was getting were a lot lower too. So I felt I needed a break to come back and recover from it. But don't get me wrong, I'm very, very grateful for all the support that I've been receiving, and thankful that so many of you stayed to see this video. I think it was just when I was seeing a lot of the other channels growing faster, I was wondering what I was doing wrong, and kind of questioning whether my content was worth it. I think a lot of it too was just I felt like I had to upload one video every week, and it kind of just crept up on me, and I wasn't prepared for it, and then I just kind of made a video, and I was like, okay, done, sort of thing. I wasn't really putting my full energy into it. But I'm here now and starting up again, hopefully with more energy and motivation. So that brings us in today's topic, going back to square one. And I know that some of you might be thinking you're not going back to square one, you're continuing where you left off, sort of thing. And I would like to say that's exactly it. Never in your life are you gonna go back to square one. No matter how many times you relapse, no matter how many times you pick yourself back up, only to end up in what seems like another failure. That's happened to me so many times, where I felt dang, I'm back here again. I've had another manic episode. What am I doing with my life? Well, I have to remind myself that I'm never, ever back at square one. And the biggest reason for that is because each period of time between each square one, you're constantly learning more about yourself, and learning more about what works and what doesn't. And each experience that you have is basically preparing yourself for the future. And I know you guys have all heard this before, but progress is not linear. It's kind of like this. You're going up and down as you progress, but in general you're going in the upward direction usually. So as you're having these little bumps in the road, you're kind of generally progressing, generally working towards what you might view as success. You're gonna have all these up and downs throughout life, but throughout it all you're getting valuable information. And I feel throughout my life I've learned so much just going through the experiences I've had, and I wouldn't trade it away, even though I feel during some of the times I'm I wouldn't want to go back there, sort of thing. I don't want to feel that way again. I feel experiencing that and getting through it helped me to where I am today. So a lot of you have been here with me to know a lot about my story, and for those of you who haven't, I'm gonna kind of go through it briefly again. So in high school I was doing super well, and doing really well in school, didn't really have a lot of manic episodes. But like after going to college that first year, that first semester actually, a lot happened. I crashed and burned. And I had so many severe manic episodes in that short amount of time. I don't know if you want to consider it like one whole one, but I did have bouts of depression in between. It wasn't the first time I ever experienced mania though. Like, I was first diagnosed after 6th grade, like that summer, because I had like bad episodes throughout 6th grade too. That's pretty unusual. I feel like most people start having these episodes if they're diagnosed like kind of in their 20s-ish or late teens. So it was kind of unusual for me. But like, yeah, that time in college at U of I was just far from home. I was not used to being alone. It was like a lot of, I guess, stimuli and just overall not a good environment for me. And just like what I know now for what I need for my mental health, like I can't be having so many things going on at the same time. I had been like super free of manic episodes until then, like that point in college. But like after that, I don't know, I was super disappointed going back to something that I thought I had control over. And then like after that point, I had manic episodes almost every year. So it was like ups and downs over and over again. And I can't say that each time was the same. They definitely weren't. Although like they resembled each other, I learned stuff each time and I was like, okay, I have to avoid these things or else I'll start getting more manic and like basically making my symptoms worse. I feel like things like numbers or like, especially when I started looking into angel numbers and stuff like that, like definitely started snowballing into something more. I would feel like there's other forces in the world that we can't see that basically are controlling things. And I guess even now when I'm stable, I like kind of believe in like energy and just picking up on other people's feelings and stuff like that, but not to the extent that I would think when I was manic. So I feel like that is definitely a way that those experiences have changed me. It's just that they're a lot more extreme and those thoughts are more extreme when I'm manic. I don't want to jinx myself, but I've been without a manic episode for like a year and a half, and I really hope that continues. And I guess in case hoping isn't enough, I've also been taking preventative measures by keeping on top of my sleep schedule and like eating for the most part. I guess I can't say I've always been eating the best foods, but for the most part I've been eating like all my meals and making sure that I'm on top of that stuff. Because once those things start slipping, everything else starts like going downhill. So I know I've made a video before about like basic mental health needs or like just basic needs in general, but that creates a foundation for mental health basically. So like eating breakfast and like eating all your meals and taking your meds and seeing your doctor and getting good sleep and all that stuff. But yeah, I've also been like taking care of my mental health when I notice that my mental state is getting kind of wacky. So yeah, I work at a facility that works to help others with their mental health, so it's easy to kind of take on my clients' problems and bring it into my own life and like overthink about it way too much. But I'm constantly reminding myself that I can only do so much, and I try not to bring work problems home, which sometimes is easier said than done. And yeah. Anyway, anytime that you feel like you're back at square one, remind yourself that you're not. remind yourself that even though it feels like you've gone a bit backward, that you're not where you were, just remember that you've grown since then. You're carrying everything of the past, the mistakes, the successes, the good times and the bad times, and remember that it's okay to ask for help, and that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness but of strength, because it's not easy to be vulnerable and it takes strength to be vulnerable. I would also like to say that no matter how many times you go through something like this, like I have and so many of you have in the past, remind yourself to pick yourself up and keep trying when things get rough, because you've made it out before and you will do it again. Speaking from personal experience. Stay safe out there, friends. I will see you soon. Hopefully in another video coming soon.